Running back coach or an offensive coordinator right now? Take your pick.
I like doing both.
Okay. Put your offensive coordinator hat on. The tight ends, okay? You being in the, coaching pros, tight ends. What are the kind of potential do these guys have?
Well, I think it's a really interesting group of guys. I think the first thing is that we have a lot of them. I think that group's worked really hard, and I think obviously having tight ends is something that helps any offense, and it gives you the ability to be in multiple sets and different personnels. And in today's day age of football, there's a lot of 11 personnel or multiple wide receivers, and it just felt like those guys have done a really good job of being able to get in there and adapt and do some different things.
What about next level for them?
Yeah, they're all young guys, so I think for them it's like everybody. It's what you do on a day-to-day basis is really building your resume to give yourself an opportunity, down the road. And obviously there's a lot of work for everybody, and I think I've just been real happy with really how they've worked and how they're progressing.
With some of the young running backs you have, does it help having a guy like Sheldon that's been around for so long?
It does, and Sheldon's done a really good job with all the guys, and obviously Kene has been around here long enough to understand and know our terminology and be able to help Bree along as a young guy, and Johnny Lang along as a young guy, and also Rory Walling's over there now too. So I think that room's been it's a really tight room. I think it's been a really tight room for a long time. I think the culture that's been set here, David was a big part of setting that culture, and I think those guys have done a great job in that room.
What have you seen from Sheldon?
He had a couple good runs today. I think the thing that really shows up with Sheldon is he's pretty much the same guy every day on the football field. He's been really consistent for us, and just happy with what he's doing. He's making the right reads and going out and catching the football.
You recruited Brock, and I think you said that you kept in contact with the staff through last year and you kind of caught glimpses of him. But what have you kind of seen from him in person through 3 practices?
Yeah, he's highly competitive. Very, very, very competitive, very locked in and dialed into what you're doing, and he doesn't have time for anything other than exactly what's supposed to be going on. I think he has extreme focus in what we're trying to do, and I think he has a high-end understanding of what players on the field we're trying to affect and what we're trying to do offensively, and he's just been fun to be around.
In what ways will you use Kene this next fall?
Well, I think when you look at Kene, I think he's a good runner. It's a little early to say exactly what we'll be doing with him, but I see Kene as a running back, but also Kene has the ability to get the ball on the edge and really stretch a defense. And obviously we know what he's done as a kick returner, and a lot of that is his speed, but he's also a powerful guy. So, he's a running back, and but I think we want to be creative in different ways to get him touches and different ways to give him the football.
Is he big enough? I mean, powerful enough, like you said. Because last year it looked like when he carried the ball into the line, he didn't go anywhere. I mean, what's he got to do to do that? I mean, is that blocking, or is it him? Or
I think it's everything. I think that's why football is the greatest team sport. I think it's a collective effort, and also it's as a running back, sometimes it's hard when there's a lot of guys getting the balls and your touches are minimal. So we got to find a way to get Kene involved in the football game and get him touches early in the game and really get him into a groove.
What's the biggest focus for the offensive line? This is probably the most experienced group that you guys have had since you've been here. What's the focus or kind of goal for them in the spring and then the rest of the offseason?
Yeah, it's fundamentals and technique, and I think Coach Myers and has done just a really good job of getting those guys to buy into the attitude and what it takes to be a really good offensive lineman. That's a really difficult position to play, and to play at a high level. And I think for them it just has to be continuing the maturation process, bringing some of the young guys along to create depth, and for us as coaches to create competition.
What have you seen from Bree, and how do you imagine possibly using him?
Well, it's really early to tell. I think what you see from Bree is he's a smooth runner. It's very natural to him. And right now we're focused with Bree on learning the offense and where to line up, and we line the running back up in a lot of different places and just kind of continuing him on. And he's been really fun to be around. He's a very intelligent kid, and he's very serious about this game and this team. So I'm excited to get him going. And today was the first day of shells, so we haven't really got to see him doing anything other than that. But man, he's done a really good job.
We got to see a couple hours practice the other day, and I think Kane was out wide, you guys motioned him across. Dylan Sainer was like the fullback, but it's just him in the backfield. Do you guys have some versatile pieces where you can get creative?
Yeah, we think so. I think that's the fun thing, like Randy alluded to, is having, different tight ends and just different personnel in general, I think is always a good thing. And, it's our job to find the best ways to fit those pieces according to the teams we're playing and, and what we're doing well. And, it's really early in the process to really pin that down exactly what it is and where our offense is going and what we want to do. But we're going to work real hard at it to make sure we're doing the best thing.
Obviously, as you try to replace David, that's a big deal. But is replacing Sam every bit as big of a deal in terms of having a successful running game?
Yeah, I mean, you watch last year's cut-ups and even the year before. I mean, he was such an integral part of what we did. And, he's along with David, he is what we believe Iowa State football is, just tough and that plays the game the right way. So, anytime you miss a guy like that, that's really hard, and you lose those guys. But that's college football. You got to play the next year and get new guys and try to shape those guys into doing the same thing.